Hello, everyone. Welcome to CAG Chat, hosted by Citizens for Accountability and Governance. I am LaVon Reedy Thomas, cohort member and co-host. I am joined this evening. Oh no, what? I am joined this evening by Tanya Wingfield,
Hello.
fearless founder of CAG. I am in mourning. I am mourning yesterday's election. While there were some people that I am happy about winning the election, there are those who should never see the light of a dais again, or dais, however you want to pronounce it. They should all be leaving in December, bidding adieu
It still
to
can
their,
now.
to their privilege. All of them could still, well, most of them will not. They'll get resworn in. And
Mhm.
so Tanya is going to share with you right now, before we go into our discussion, what she's wearing today.
Oh, well, I am wearing my pirate shirt today, and that's because pirates hijack and take things. And there was a lot of hijacking going on in this election. And since I cast my first vote in 1979, and never in 47 years have I not received information about candidates that are running for office. Never, ever. And in enough time to educate myself about know who the candidates were so I can do research. This is the first time ever this has ever happened in Prince George's County. And we should not be looking at this as a one-off thing. And that's why I got my pirate shirt, because there was some piracy here. There was some theft here. Um, and and I'm saying theft of robbing people of their opportunities so that they can educate themselves on candidates, on consequences for voting for some candidates so that they could make informed decisions. The number of people that I saw at the polls saying, "Oh, I got my sample ballot in the mail," thinking that it came from the Board of Election. It's truly sad, and we'll talk more about it. But that's why I have my pirate shirt on tonight.
Right. And Tanya
Don,
is
Donna's here.
hi Donna, welcome. Donna Goodman Young, Donna Young Goodman, Donna Young, Donna Goodman, whichever name she going by tonight.
That's right.
She's frozen.
She's frozen.
I can see that that's happening. Let me see what's going on.
Um,
Maybe because I have two. Okay.
so
I'm gonna log
um
off and log back on, y'all.
we
Okay.
are discussing the election. I'm going to start the discussion with a post that I captured from one of the posts on Citizens for Accountability in Governance. And we thank everyone who has participated in our online discussions. There are those who want to dismiss the online commentary as not showing up in public spaces and not doing enough, and your keyboard complainers and all the things. I've been using Facebook to do politics since Facebook started, and it was very effective, and it's still very effective. And we appreciate those of you who see us out in the public and thank us or recognize us and say, if you all had not said, I would not know. And so if CAG does not work for you, dear hearts, please bid us adieu. Unfollow us, scroll past us, ignore us. Because guess what? We ain't knocking on your doors. We are in your hand. We are on your screen, on your desk. You follow us by choice. We are not soliciting your support. Like many doors that we've approached to knock, to say no soliciting. And the people who wanted to yell because we left literature, to the people who gripe about the signs. And yes, they did look bad. And to the people who say you didn't do a mailer, or I got no hyphen, no hyphen, or the people who get mad because you got too many mailers, or the people who complain that the candidates are too this, that, or the other, or they got too much money and this one doesn't have enough money. Y'all ain't never happy because you didn't show up at the polls yesterday, so you gave somebody another opportunity. You the losers. But I'm going to start with what this person said. Let me read. The person said, I don't know about you, but my people didn't die to vote. They died for the choice of voting. There is no benefit in voting for people who are not bringing any policies to the table to help you. This symbolic nonsense is dying quick as Black Americans continue to see ourselves sinking to the bottom after voting for people not interested in solidifying our economic state in this nation. Meanwhile, every community in America relies on government to pass legislation specifically for them. I found that statement to be a little troubling, a bit profound, a bit truthful. I think that what they missed was that Black folks in Prince George's County are privileged. They're entitled. They live in a majority African American jurisdiction. So they don't feel threatened by white authority, white supremacy. But yet, they're allowing people who look like them. I know y'all hate the term black on black crime, but this black on black politics. Y'all tolerate this stuff. You had, what, 6 people running for county executive. So what? You didn't know the name of the other people. You knew the name that shouldn't have been. That's why you stayed home. So you didn't do anything but hurt yourselves because you don't feel the pressure and the pain points of this leadership. Not yet. You didn't care that 40 something million $1,000 was spent on Snowcrete, and she said, I would do it again. You didn't care that she hired somebody who had been fired to run the Department of Environment, who had been out of the space for 15 years, and she said, I would do it again. You didn't care that she has been silent until confronted with a camera, and she rolled the bus over her selection as chair of Park and Planning, Daryl Barnes. She was silent about the money that was taken because she got some too.
Plenty of it.
Right? And then y'all in $39 million lawsuit, that's when she decides she's gonna come out of pocket and we're doing this for the people and we're doing that for the people.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's get that quote right. These are services going directly to the people. So what is park and planning money doing? That's not going directly to the people?
Right.
Those aren't services going directly to the people?
Right. Select people. The people who choose to show up to park and planning get the services. The people who don't are blessing the people who are using it.
But it's still available to everybody.
It's still available to everybody. However, if they take this $39 million, they gonna give it to the people that need diapers, the people that want to eat crabs, the people who got new nonprofit organizations that have no experience, the people who can't cut their grass.
And a question. Because remember now, the county executive gave her budget, and her budget only had about 10 million transferred from park and planning. And then the council got the budget and added this other 29 million. So if the county executive does services, Why is the county council needing this extra money? So these are the things y'all voted in people who finagle with money. You can't keep stick. They robbed Peter to pay Paul, and now it's the park and planning money. What money next? Are they going to go after because you pay money for WSSC, you pay in your taxes, you got money for sewage and with WSSC. They're going to start snatching that money, saying that they should have a right over that money.
Well, I know they had
You
EDC paying for their luxurious time in Vegas. I heard that they spent more money than ever before and had very little attendance. It was
you
embarrassing.
y'all are not even thinking about because see they are so busy. One of the things I heard when I was at the poll, I heard two women having a conversation thanking the District 8 council member for helping pay utility bills. They just said utilities, so I don't know what that includes. This is your tax money. I pay my own utility bills. When that
Mhm.
utility bill comes in, it says Tanya Wingfield. I don't go. I'm a senior citizen also.
Right.
I'm setting up to retire. So why would I think that it's fair to take your tax dollars for the younger people who are out here working, trying to make a living, new to making decisions? Why is it fair for your tax dollars to come to me and start paying my utilities? You all are voting for people that are creating an inequity in this county that is not sustainable. You
Yep.
cannot, and I'm tired of hearing that argument about what you're trying to help because the disenfranchisement of your districts historically. Okay, say what you're trying to say. The northern part of the county where you have the majority of whites and the southern part of the county where you still have some affluent whites are usually getting, and I'm talking about not the Temple Hills area. You're talking more like on the Tantalon and those areas, and mainly northern part of the county. But you're saying that they're always getting all the benefits, they're getting all the money, and historically District Heights, Fairmont Heights, um, those areas are not getting the same funding. Well, and you may have a point there, but you don't go about it by creating inequities by taking money and just throwing it all in your district. And you all have voted for people who are doing this. What they're doing is not they're not leveling the playing field.
Well, the sad
They
part
are
is,
based.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
The sad
Well,
part
they're
is,
not leveling the.
I guess there's a delay. Maybe there's a delay.
Yeah. Well, let me just finish it. They're not leveling the playing field. You think they are. And what you don't realize, it's like the African American, well, Black and brown folks in Prince George's County, you feel like you have been starved for so long of receiving equity that now when you're having bones, and you don't even realize having these bones thrown to you, like the paper towels that were thrown to the people after the hurricane, you are so in awe about this that you are not paying attention to the big picture of what is happening. And that is this county is going into bankruptcy. Why do you think they're fighting so hard for this park and planning money? Because they have depleted all other resources. And so they're going after new resources. They still owe the school system $300,000 for helping plow the snow. I was told that the people that Brave Boy called out and asked to please help individuals, they're still waiting to be paid. Not all of them
Oh,
have been
park and
paid.
planner is still waiting for their money too. And so are the contractors who did the snow shoveling, the people that they asked to help.
Exactly. So all these people that they are creating debt for us and then not paying them. These are the people, and y'all complain about Donald Trump. Y'all just voted in Trumpian people. Well, let's say they're not back in office because remember now this is just a primary, but you made them your nominee for your party.
Right. And by the way, everyone, that voice from heaven is Sherman Hardy. He's our James Earl Jones tonight. He's off camera. We celebrate Sherman, who
Yes, we
ran.
do.
He did a great job
An
getting out
excellent
there.
race.
My pitch was Sherman Hardy is the man who's been the voice about these expenditures related to the nonprofits and the project charges for the last 3 years. And had he not been so audacious, would we even have the lawsuit that we have pending now? And people went, lawsuit? So I
Right.
don't know where people are. I mean, I don't watch local news either, but dang, can y'all use social media for more than just TikTok dances and come on. But anyway, if
Oh, you know what? One other thing. Remember, this is our first time that we've ever not had a adopted budget.
yeah,
That's who you all made your nominees going into the general election. People who can't even on the council, especially who can't even do the one important job they were hired to do.
and they're
And
doing it, and then we're out of order. We're out of compliance because it's supposed to revert back if the budget isn't passed. It's supposed to revert back. And so my thing is just what her favorite people showed up. What was the percentage of people that showed up? 25% of the voters showed up. She got 70,000 votes. Only a
no,
hundred.
no, she got it was a total of about 74,000. She got
Right.
about 50 of those.
Oh, okay. And so my thing is that's no mandate. That just means the people who liked her showed up and the other people who didn't. And so I mean, I don't know what to tell y'all. Y'all voted back in. It didn't both the council incumbents get their get their at-large seats.
Well, you know what? And that's very funny. We're going to watch to see if this referendum, how it goes. Because now that they didn't get their pick, will they vote to eliminate those seats so that Sydney and Jolene won't have a job on the council anyway?
What do you mean they didn't get their
Because,
pick?
well, that was, oh, let me say it. Well, it wasn't the progressive pick for um
Oh, for the at-large
for the
seat.
at-large seat.
Mm-hmm.
And so now let's see if they go through with this referendum before, or they go through this vote to say they definitely want these seats out, put it on referendum and make sure that it won't matter. You may have elected me and Jolene to be your nominees in the general election. And even if they win, they still may not be sworn in. So let's see how that plays out.
Well, the referendum doesn't take effect until the next election cycle. They'll
Oh,
get one
it's not till they'll get one.
2030. They'll get one term, if I understood it correctly. And
Uh,
so
now
what
well, okay, maybe it's changed because thought originally I heard that they would not be voted in, but we will check to make sure because it was supposed to take effect. But it wouldn't make sense to because then you're disenfranchising people if you try to make them go after being elected. So we'll check. We'll see.
yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the election at the precincts, the polling sites, and the work that needs to be done between now and the next election. We forget.
Well, first, before we talk about the polling one, what was supposed to happen at the local level and the state level so that people receive their information?
You're talking about the voter guide, the official
Mhm.
voter guide.
Yeah, I think they called it someone said it was a specimen or whatever. So what should have happened?
Well, we should have gotten it about 2 weeks before early voting started. I think a minimum of 2 weeks is what it's supposed to be. And we
Hmm.
didn't get it. We don't really know what happened. There's some finger pointing that's been taking place. I was told that the state board of elections said it's up to the local board of elections and the government to get it done.
Hmm.
The local board of elections said that the county didn't order it or pay for it. Um, some SCLC and NAACP representatives went to the state and said, hey, what's going on? And that's how we ended up getting the mailers done. I know that at the same time, there was a letter sent out by the legislature that explained what was going on and called for immediate action to get them out. They're supposed to be doing an investigation or a committee hearing to talk about this mishap. Was it a mishap? Was it intentional? Who dropped the ball? Who didn't put in the order? So we still are lost about what happened. Somebody said they got their book the same day as voting on Tuesday, yesterday. And so how
I got mine after early voting had
right.
ended.
And so, some people rely on those things, I guess, as a reminder to say, oh, it's time to vote. People didn't know that they had to request mail-in ballots. They said nobody told them. They missed the memo on that. Um,
And weren't there some precinct changes?
Then there were precinct changes, closures, mergers that people didn't know about. I saw a story a post from Tracy Wilkins with the letter that was supposedly sent out 2 months ago, I guess, to the voters that were impacted. My thing is this: where the heck is the Democratic Party? What purpose does the Democratic Party serve if they're not going to do mailers to inform their voters?
Now, is that are you
The
talking about the
Maryland Democratic
is
Party.
that okay? So the Maryland and does the Central Committee, is that something they undertake
The
also?
Democratic Central Committee is also responsible for voter education. Only voter education they do is sit up and say, I vote for that person because my senator told me to. And I know everybody's senators don't tell them who to vote for, say y'all, but it's an understood thing that you're gonna support the candidate that the senator wants. Um, and so I had a few Democratic Central Committee people to ask me to list them as, my choices. I told them I really don't pay attention to Democratic Central Committee, but I went ahead and did it because I had a good conversation and I wanted to, show my support. So I went ahead and listed them on Lavon's list, where I'm choosing people with thought behind it, not money, not popularity, not friendship, but thought, right? Um, and I appreciate those who questioned me and said, I didn't make your list, or how did you choose the people? Those of you who are respectful to the work that we do, we appreciate y'all. But y'all arrogant people who want to be mad because we're out here speaking truth to power and you just got in the game and you ain't qualified to even be in the seat that you're in, your day is coming, baby. You showed your you know what last week at the polls. Oh, you was in prime time. Oh yeah, you was huffing and puffing and twitching around and doing all the things. You reap what you sow. If you ain't qualified, you ain't qualified. This thing y'all got about give people a chance, they should have never gotten a chance. That's what people don't understand. We ain't objecting to that person. We objecting to what didn't come with the person, which
Right.
is qualifications. We objecting to the fact that some people have bankrolled the folk who are leading these corrupt actions, and now they want to
Yeah.
be at the table, and so they in there too, and they didn't deserve to be in there neither, and they out at the poll cussing and showing their behind.
Yeah. You know, we really have to think hard. Some of the stuff, I mean, we're really a laughing stock. Now, I want to and this may ruffle some feathers, and that's not my intent. What I'm trying to do is just put out the truth. Um, the race for the clerk of the court.
Oh my
Now,
gosh.
I'm not going to say that the winner of that race, Ms. Johnson, is not qualified. But the things that we have to look at is what is she eligible to, or eligible, uh, her eligibility to really carry out that position. Um, I've done a lot of research. I've talked to some people in legal space, attorneys in that legal space, and they they laugh. They laugh, and they're like, well, "What is wrong with the people in Prince George's County?"
Yeah.
Even though Miss Johnson is eligible to run, she served her time, and she did her probation. She came off of probation. I think it was around 2022. But there are some things that she may not be able to achieve, like clearances that are needed for certain type of cases. And she's the clerk of the court. So, or she's the nominee, the Democratic nominee for clerk of the court. And what we're putting ourselves in a position in is if she wins and she cannot pack caseloads, how does that impact that? Being eligible to run doesn't mean she is qualified to get all of the clearances and all of the required clearances to do the job. And this is information that has been public information to everybody. So it's not that anybody had a problem with Johnson. It was, will she be able to get everything she needs to do that job? And if she does not, what is the impact on citizens? Why even put ourselves in the position to have to figure it out? Why create the space for us that didn't have to be?
Right.
And these are some of the things that you all allowed simply because folks got in their feelings. She deserves a second chance. You're right. She definitely deserves a second chance. But go for a position that you will be able to fulfill all the requirements to do the job.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we come into that space, again, y'all talk about MAGA being a cult. This is cult-like behavior.
Mm-hmm.
This is cult-like behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it the again, not having an approved budget, being caught up in a court case for
Right. Right.
illegally, y'all, illegally transferring money from park and planning. Everyone, and it's a shame that people aren't looking at your tax bill. So that if you see on your tax bill, in addition to paying your county taxes, other taxes that you are paying to the state so that you have certain services. And now your county council members want to take that money going to the state and say, well, because it's being helping, it's for Prince George's County, the county council should control it. That's Trumpian. That's
Mm-hmm.
Trumpian all the way. And this is what you all set up to be your nominees on the council. I'm still
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure out why a millionaire businessman wants to be a council person. That just doesn't make sense to me.
Sure. And after watching how he worked in what's the word? Coercion with David Murray on that charter school coming to Bowie to South Lake, and David was up there talking about how he had met with the builder and they were ready to build a school out for the people, and Tim testified in support of it. Messy, man,
Now,
messy.
do we have a requirement where council people must divest themselves from their business because he has county contracts? How does I mean, people, again, are you all thinking when you're casting these votes? He has contracts that has with the county government, and let's say it's on the administration side. Well, they're the oversight for agencies. What if his business isn't doing the right thing? He's going to be the overseer of his own business? The so many of these things did not make sense. We're putting grocery stores and libraries, and I know people that work in the library system, they're already complaining that they have, before this happened, they were dealing with rodents, they were dealing with libraries not being clean, but now you're putting food in there. Why? Because we're taking agency responsibilities and giving them to council members who have the oversight to making sure that these agency programs are running right. But now you're letting them create the programs, fund the programs, and then do the oversight of the programs. What would we call that, Lavon, where you have one person doing all this?
A monopoly?
Monopoly, could be a monopoly. Um, it's definitely out of order. There's a lack of checks and balances. And
Cronyism?
yeah, and for the county executive to say, I mean, to be defending this, you're saying that you're illegally moving money, and a licensed attorney sees no problem with that. That's what you all voted as your nominee
Right,
to represent this county.
right. It's just crazy, man.
I mean,
To not show up to vote was to rubber stamp everything that is wrong with this county. So let's
mhm,
talk about the county council situation. So in District 1, the outgoing member, Denoga's person, Michelle Garcia, won
mhm,
over Martin Mitchell and Darwin Romero. She won by, according to the unofficial tallies, she won, they had 6,000 votes, which is pitiful. Um, that sounds more like a municipal election, possibly. She won by a little more than 1,000 votes, 1,700 and something votes. Like, really? I can't believe that Laurel, it's something wrong with y'all in North County. Y'all got real racial issues. You'd rather, and I ain't knocking Miss Garcia, I don't know her, but when y'all gonna let a black person have a say in leadership in Laurel? When y'all gonna do that? Then in District 2, we had Daniel Armando Jones versus Victor Ramirez, and Victor won. They had a total of 3,607 votes, and Juanica Fisher endorsed Victor Ramirez, which is interesting because they were opponents in
mhm.
2022. And yeah, folk be switching up, man. They that's why they don't like me because I'm consistent, right? If I don't support you, I'm gonna say why I didn't support you. And if something happened differently and now I'm supporting you, I'll say that. But just to get out there and talk about, that the district's gonna be good with him, come on, come
Well,
on.
didn't he endorse her too?
Yeah, so they all,
And it's this is what's so funny about, and it's surprising for Victor to do this, and sometimes people, I guess, just get so desperate to get in office. But remember when he was running against Aisha, and Aisha definitely has more experience than Juanica, but he made it clear that everybody knew she never prosecuted a criminal case. He
mhm,
made it sure that when he was running, that Aisha was not qualified to be state's attorney. But
mhm.
now you endorse somebody with even less experience.
Right. So he won by a little more than 700 votes. If I'm doing math right, they had a total of 3,607. Again, pathetic outcomes. I don't know what an average, each municipality, each district has an average of 100,000 people. So I don't know what the percentage of registered voters would be, but 3,000 people out of 100,000 possible voters, that's pathetic. And then District 3, Eric Olson ran unopposed and, whatever. They too need to diversify their next candidacy because, they just keep putting them folk in. Welcome back, Donna. District
Thank
4
you.
is the district that was really, I thought, would be more competitive, considering all these people in the city of Bowie couldn't stand Tim Adams.
Didn't they say that?
He left us in bad shape. He didn't accomplish anything. But y'all voted for him. I don't understand. He got 6,620 votes. Juliet Agosha got 1,834. And Unisha Davis, who knows this county better than either one of them because she ran the Office of Community Relations for 6 years, she got 2,353 votes. Y'all don't want good government. Y'all don't. Y'all just, I'm starting to agree with the people that say y'all just like to complain. I don't like using the word complain. I think it's voicing your concerns, and but complaints, I had to tell somebody who was tabling for Ron Watson, I'm gonna say his name. She said, well, see, people don't come and vote and then they want to complain. And I said, so I don't always think that's because somebody voices something, it's a complaint. I said, a complaint is, wow, I woke up this morning and my knees hurt. But your knees hurt and you know why your knees hurt, right? Your knees hurt because you didn't exercise like you're supposed to. You haven't lost weight like you're supposed to. You didn't take your medication for your arthritis like you're supposed to. Like, the source of your situation and you chose not to address it. That's a complaint. A concern is, oh, I got up this morning and my knees are aching and I don't understand why. I didn't hit it against anything. Typically, my knees don't bother me. So I'm going to go find out why my knees hurt. I'm going
Right.
to go and seek a solution for my knees hurting. And then I'm going to follow through with whatever the instructions are so it doesn't turn into a complaint. So now y'all got complaints because y'all didn't see it through. You didn't show up to get the solution, which was to vote. If I don't care if you didn't like the candidates, there were people who were number two that you could have voted for. Just show up. Okay, so let me do this. So Unisha, God bless Unisha. She did a great job out there in those streets, and I'm disappointed that she didn't win. All right, District 5 was Shayla D. Adam Stafford, incumbent, with 5,665 votes, and Winton R. Johnson Sr. with 979. Now, I met him, very nice gentleman, but he had no game. Like I told him, I posted a comment to you and said, come on, post something on CAG so that people will know. And he was like, oh, I was probably just this, that, or the other. I mean, a lot of people running their own show. So I get it. You can't do everything. But I just felt like he didn't engage. Oh shoot, what is wrong? He didn't do any engagement. So again, y'all like crooks and criminals and thieves and manipulators. So I guess that's good. Okay, District 6, very disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
The incumbent is Happy Homemaker. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Danielle, Happy Homemaker Hunter. That's what I said because in your video, your propaganda, you said though I know that I'll be good for the constituents because I had three children and I had to learn to listen. And I learned that, well, I had three babies and I learned to change diapers, but that don't mean I want to go work at a nursing home or that I'm qualified because I don't want to demean nursing home attendants, people who take care of patients who can't toilet themselves. I don't need to go changing them because I know how to do it. That don't mean I'm qualified to do that, right? Because you have to do it a certain way when you're dealing with folks.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be mad at me because I took what you said and fed it back to the people. If you didn't want it repeated, you shouldn't have said it. You just didn't expect it. And I am not disingenuous, and I am a woman of integrity. All those things you felt big and bad saying to me, baby. Okay, we gonna handle that later.
and
But anyway, and so
yeah.
Danielle got 6,507 votes. Dominique Lamb, who seems to be a very nice person, like a
Mm-hmm.
very well-mannered, informed person.
Mm-hmm.
She spoke well, didn't necessarily agree with her answers fully, but she showed up. She had 1,500 votes. Then there was Crystal Simonica, who I don't think I ever saw, 349, and Bertrand Tessa, 246. And coming up in the second place was Joel R. Peebles Jr. with 5,545 votes. Now they had
Dynamic pan, dynamic campaign.
yeah, they have 14,147 participants. So we don't look at this about and based on your districts of how people showed up to vote, right? Eventually we'll do some more breakdowns. But Joe was not just running against the 4-month incumbent, Danielle Hunter, who was supported, endorsed, nominated by Aisha Braveboy, voted in by the council members. He was also running against all of them. Aisha slate, the council members slates, that meant the senator slates. All the people were against Joel Peebles. Like they just were anti Joel Peebles, and he was the most qualified one. So we have to think, y'all
He was.
scared of something. And I know what it is. You need all your friends to come back because they all know where the bones are. They all know what the secrets are. And you got to keep on pushing this little crap down the alley. So Joel and all of the team Joel people, it was an honor to stand out there with you all and work the polls. And even though there was some harsh moments, we stood strong and we
Mm-hmm.
remained dignified. And so we're going to keep pushing. So then in District 7, another unopposed seat that shouldn't have gone unopposed was Crystal Oriada, and 5,000 people decided to select her name. In District 8, same thing, Burroughs. He had 7,539 yes people who think he's doing a wonderful job and he should have had an opponent.
Yeah, paying your bills with our tax dollars.
Right. And then the other hot race was District 9, which Sherman was a part of. We had in the winning seat was Tamara Davis Brown right now with 51.78% of the votes. She got 7,525. I won't go through all of them because there were quite a few. Amara Crooms had 2,625 votes. Sherman Hardy, 489, and former District 9 school board member Lolita E. Walker, 2,050. There was a total of 14,534 votes cast at this count. And so there we have it for that. I don't see the at-large ones.
Well, I know it was a lot. I think Jolene got something like 20,000 votes, if not more, and Sydney got like 16 or 17. So yeah.
But where did Jennifer and Sean come in? That's what I was trying to find.
Their count was, I remember looking, it was pretty low. I think it was somewhere around 500 um, each of them.
So that's a shame because, Jolene and Sydney are part of well, even though they're not in the favored block, the rebel block, they did not help everything that has happened. Sydney got a lot of criticism for lack of responsiveness in his office. How you going to handle 1 million people when you struggle to handle 100,000? No disrespect to the people that work in his office. Y'all, I know y'all was a little cool towards me, but that's just the truth of the experience with his office. I'm not making it up. It ain't personal. It's just, to me, it's a legitimate question. And because he does not speak to his constituents, literally, he did not speak to me the week of the election. It was like, really, dude? And so my thing is, we still pay our taxes, whether y'all like what we say or not. You still work for us. We're not calling you out of your name. I mean, well, I do call her Danielle, Happy Homemaker Hunter. But while that might seem derogatory, it's not atypical of what happens in public spaces, political spaces. I'm not calling you something that is not relevant to who you are, right? I'm not calling nobody, you know, other names, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
you gotta remember, Sydney, that the campaign is the campaign and your public service is your public service. Remember, you told me that in 2020, right? So my thing is,
Oh,
what?
wait a minute. We want to make sure that we mention that the um, council staff campaigning at the polls. Wow. Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, somebody said that they can take administrative leave to do that. In 2006, that was not the case. They had
But
to
you're still
take
being paid
leave.
by our tax dollars.
Exactly. They had to take leave to work the campaigns. So administrative leave means there's nothing deducted from your leave bank. You getting
Yeah.
paid and you're not losing your leave.
And it's still on our tax dollars.
Well, I don't care if it's your personal
No, no,
leave.
no. It doesn't still don't matter because if they aren't being deducted, if they
Right,
aren't losing money from their pay, it's still coming out of our taxes.
right, exactly. Keep talking, Tanya. I gotta take this.
Yeah. So no, but they were out there doing polls. They were working the polls. They were out there canvassing, passing out literature, not going to vote and coming going back.
Those who work the polls actually get to, we have to sign a form as a chief judge. We sign a form saying that they were there that day and they get paid for that time that they took off to work the polls. Now, not as a volunteer to any
No,
of the
no, you're
candidates.
saying an employee of the county government can
Yes.
take off. Oh, you
Mm-hmm.
know what? That's crazy. Because why are our tax dollars going to pay for an employee to go out and campaign and then
No,
can't?
not campaign, Tanya. Only work on the inside of the poll.
No, no, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about canvassing. They're outside. They're outside. We're not
No, not
talking
that.
about people like jury duty. We're not talking about that.
No, yes. It basically I'm talking about people sitting in the room
Yeah,
with
we're not
us.
talking about that. We're not
Okay,
talking
that's
about
what I'm
that.
saying. So, they do get that type of
Yeah,
Donna,
yeah, but
administrative
that's
that's
leave.
not the point of the conversation,
yeah,
Donna.
that's not that's off the table. We're not talking about that. That makes sense because that would be like going to jury duty. We're
Correct.
talking about people who are outside in those tents, passing out work like they are volunteering, campaign workers. That's what we're
No,
talking about.
they should not be paid from administrative leave. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. So those are tax dollars paying for them to sit up here and campaign for some candidate. And that's not what we're supposed to be doing. But those are the people that you all decided to make your nominees
You know what I was gonna do? I was
to
gonna
go
call
back.
the offices one day and see what the answering was like.
Mm.
I wanted to call and say, "Oh, who's running the District 9 office?" Because everybody was out in them streets. So, but at some point, the public has to take responsibility
And say
for
enough is enough.
themselves.
Mhm.
And while we are okay with being the faces out here in these streets, we didn't have a budget. And the council members were out asking for your vote. And you didn't think to ask them, well, what happened with the budget?
Right.
Where we gonna be on July 1?
Exactly.
You know, and then
Well, it doesn't matter because they're going to get crabs.
well, on 20, right, on June 26th, the judge is supposed to make the decision about the park and planning lawsuit. So my hope is that they find in favor of park and planning. And then I hope somebody files a lawsuit about the fact that we are out of compliance by not having a budget, right? So, okay, I can't read the text and talk at the same
Oh,
time.
I got it. For
Okay,
those who are, complainers, who are constantly complaining, but no one went out there to tell their representative what. So 8 hours out there. Your representatives are out there. Did anybody ask them, why do we not have, ask these questions, why do we not have uh an approved budget?
right, right,
Why is it that we don't have a balanced budget? Because if you look at the numbers inside that budget, they got things carrying on from year to year to year. And it's going to carry on that if they get 2 times in the seat, they'll be in their lame duck session before we start feeling the pain of what they kicked down the road.
right. And so my thing is, I posted that Louisiana is 48 out of 50 in degree holders in the country. And here we are in Prince George's County. I look like Zora Neale Hurston. Here we are in Prince George's County with supposedly, all these highly degreed, educated, wealth, affluent people in a majority Black county with majority Black leadership. And our voting numbers are almost as
Or
bad as
dismal.
Louisiana. And
Right.
Louisiana people are suffering. And I follow Gary Chambers, and he is literally begging people to show up at the polls. Like it's so bad, they got rid of a whole municipality, a whole parish, whatever they call it, and how they vote. They got rid of it. They chopped it up and gave
Right.
them their precincts to to the surrounding majority white jurisdictions. They got rid of the only Black precinct they had, or district, whatever
And
you want to call it.
and then the other thing that to me that is really sad is that we have ancestors whose graves are sitting
Hmm.
underneath lakes today because they chose to go out and make things work, defy what this country said they couldn't do after slavery, and they did it with little education. A lot of them had, hard for opportunities, but they pulled together. They put in um I would say what we call now policies and processes that work for their neighbors so that everyone could prosper and they could build prosperity and build a community of prosperity. They are, their graves are sitting in under lakes now, under rivers, in hollow graves. And here we are in Prince George's County, just spitting on all that they did
Yep.
because of what you keep voting in. Oh, I didn't know who to vote for. I just voted for the only name I knew. Oh, I just didn't have time. Nobody notified me. How are we supposed to really find this information out? Everybody don't use the internet. I want to know how many people have a cell phone
Mm-hmm.
and how many people, even if you don't have grandkids, you can ask somebody, set my cell phone up so I can get emails.
Mm-hmm.
You can get access to what you want.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, if somebody were to say that they were going to pay your electric bill, but you had to download this app, you figure out how to download that app.
Mm-hmm.
So many excuses, and it is just a total disrespect to our ancestors who died, who were beat, brutalized, who were hung from trees, who were burned alive, who were tortured, who were shot, who ran for their lives in woods. And it is a disrespect to all that they have done
But
to come
Tanya,
out
people,
here.
the way I
But let
open,
me finish. Let me
okay,
finish.
sorry.
To come to all that they've done, and you will sit here and say, you're not going to vote because I'm afraid of losing my job. I'm afraid of retaliation. I'm afraid because what she said she was going to do to me. I'm not going to do it because I didn't get that booklet in the mail. Every excuse under the sun that other than coming out and not just voting, but voting for a purpose. Not so that you can make sure that you get your grant that you want to get, that you can be a part of the people when they say this is for a select few, you're part of that select few. You are giving up all of this that our ancestors fought so that everybody could have access to, just back to what we started with after slavery, where it was just a few. Your this house Negro mentality that lives alive in Prince George's County. Because you have to understand, when you're in leadership, you affect everybody,
Mm-hmm.
every race, every nationality. You affect everybody. And to keep this enslaved mentality that we have in Prince George's County, it is a disgrace to our ancestors. This is not about a race thing. This is about you just being disrespectful to your own heritage.
Right. And as we
Lavon, go
started
ahead.
out, the person said, well, my ancestors didn't die so that I could vote. They died so that and fought so that I could have a choice of voting. But you are impacted by the laws that these people create. So you're choosing whether you agree with the policies or you feel like the policies that are being made don't affect you. They might affect you one day. They're affecting somebody you
They're
know.
affecting you, just don't, you're not paying attention
Right. And
because you're looking at what you're getting.
let's look at the licensing. So you don't want to vote, but they increase the cost of licenses, tags, insurance, all the things keep going up. But you ain't showing up to vote against it. And so,
Because you keep saying they said they didn't raise taxes.
right. But they raise fees. The law says they can't raise taxes, but they can raise these fees. And so the word salad that they play, the games that they play with language is manipulation. And I
Yes.
want to go back to the sample ballots. I call them slates.
I call
Uh,
them idiot ballots, but go ahead.
those were used by white people right here in Prince George's County. And I should have pulled out the book, The Blacks in the Political Suburbs. I thought I had it in arm's reach, but I don't. But in there, it talks about how they created these slates so that black people would know they had somebody to vote for, right? So these are the people who are supporting your interests. Didn't matter if the candidates was white or black, they put them on there, and it started in District 25, which is the heart of Prince George's County. District 25 was the first carved out district for black folks. Within District 25 is District 6, the heart of Prince George's County. Central Avenue runs straight through it. When you don't know your history, you can't appreciate where you are today. As I told somebody about the candidate whose name I won't call again, you want me to sit and see what's happening now and take the 30 years of experience that I have in this and ignore what I know to hope that that person is not going to be who I see them being when they voted for a budget when they only had it for 20 minutes and they ain't never voted on a budget before that had errors in it. I'm supposed to put my future on a possibility of what somebody gonna do when they already got somebody with their thumb on them. Come on, y'all. It ain't like somebody said, it's not rocket science to be a council member. You put good people around you, but you need to know what the good people are talking about in order to know if they telling you the right thing. And y'all ain't telling us the right thing. I don't care how much y'all get on there and dog us and say this, that, and the other. Match your resume, baby. We don't know who you are. You functioning under an anonymous handle. But you want to challenge us because we're bold enough and courageous enough to come out here and to try to offer you all some substantive information. So if you choose not to follow through, fine. If you want to debate, fine. But you should be asking them to debate. You should be asking them, who are you to say this, that, and the other? Not us. We just out here volunteering our time, trying to be good community servants. So when you don't know better and somebody's trying to help you to do better, you should appreciate that. But when you don't know better and people are taking advantage of you, you should be making some noise about it. You should be joining in with us. And so Tanya said we were going to be an hour. I ain't taking off my hat because I don't know what my hair looks like. But as we close out this hour,
Sorry, y'all.
and I come out of mourning,
Woo, sweat.
we do have opportunity to change
Yes.
today's outcome. TanyaSweat.com is where you can go to, I can't raise my chair up anymore, is where you
We
can
can see.
go to get your petition.
I posted it on our page this morning.
Okay.
TanyaSweat.com. Yes.
Why my shirt crooked? To get your petition to sign so that Tanya can be on the ballot in November as an independent. And the reason she changed to be independent is because of the way the Democratic Party was playing politics with our lives. They need to stop butting into what's happening in local politics. And maybe if they were paying attention to what was happening in the Board of Elections, we wouldn't have had all this chaos. So we need you all to go to www.tanyasweat.com, download the petition, print it out. You have to do ink, sign it, contact them, her team. They will pick it up. You can put it in the mail. She has events that are happening at area McDonald's. She's going to be planning more events. She needs money. Y'all talk about it's too much money, but then people say, I didn't get no mailer from that person. I didn't see their sign. This is history making right here, y'all. Y'all want to make some history? For the last two elections, I had to hear about history. This woman, black woman, the first. That ain't no history. This is history. If we can get an independent on the ballot in November, that will be history making.
History.
We
Yes.
got until the end of June. That's my deadline for Tanya. The end of June to collect signatures. You need me to bring you the petition, I'll bring you the petition. Mailbox me on Facebook. I think CAG, we should set up a signing day where we go and we sit somewhere and people can come and say hello to us and they can
Okay.
sign the petition. Because it's about us. Get your household to do it. Get your mama
Right.
and them to do it. Get your
Get everyone
neighbors
to
to do it.
sign.
I
Yes.
think it's six. I think it's six. I can't remember how many's on the petition.
Yeah, it's either 5 or 6, something like
Right.
that.
So
Yeah.
if you can get 5 or 6 of your friends, when you go to happy hour, tell them, fill this out for me. We got to bring a possibility to Prince George's County that has never been seen before.
There we
Thank you.
go. Thank you.
This never been, we can't really make out the location though.
Um,
It looks funny.
well, I know it goes into July. I see
Yeah,
July
July
13th.
13th.
Yeah, so we
And
have
stop
time.
asking how many signatures Tanya got. If she ain't got your signature, then she don't have enough. If she ain't got your baby daddy's signature, then she ain't got enough. If she ain't got mama and them signature, then she ain't got enough. If your church has not run a petition drive for Tanya Sweat, then she ain't got enough. If your sorority, okay, here we go.
There we go. There we
Today
go.
is July. Tomorrow from 9 to 11, she will be at the McDonald's at Old Alexandria Ferry Road, and that's owned by Mary Hopkins Navies, who I ran a thing went out saying she was called a B word by somebody. I was like, no, we ain't doing that. But anyway, so go out there. Also, if you take your voter sticker to one of Ms. Navy, Ms. Hop, Mary Navy's McDonald's, you can get a free apple pie or I think a cup of coffee. So anyway, y'all, we got to get out there. July 2nd, she's going to be on at Allentown Road, McDonald, right by the Andrews Gate. On July 6th, she's going to be at the Ritchie Road, McDonald's. On July 9th, she's going to be at Bright Sea and Central Avenue, Bright Sea Road and Central Avenue. And July 13th, she's going to be in Fort Washington at Swan Creek Road, McDonald. 9 to 11 a.m. Y'all don't have no excuses, and more will be coming. She has Facebook, she got social media, she got Instagram, she got TikTok, she got all the things. You didn't want to vote for the people that you had the option of voting for against the county executive that's sitting now, then you got another option.
Yeah.
And y'all stop being superficial. Just stop. This is about policy. This is about processes, protocol. This is about having skills. This it ain't about whether or not she wearing a wig or her face is made up or what her outfit look like. Stop. Just stop. Because you complain about the overly done Photoshop pictures too. So y'all ain't never happy. But I promise you, you better get happy and sign that Tanya
Yeah, sign
Sweat
that petition.
petition.
Yes.
Sweat, sweat. And yes, let me just say this. Kudos to Greg Holmes for coming out and doing what he did. He called attention to the need for Inspector General. Yes, we know Sherman has been saying it and a few other people have been saying it, but he talked about it as part of his campaign. And he was out there talking about families. And he was out there talking about understanding what businesses need because he's a business person. He has business relationships. He's worked in the corporate space. Sometimes folk only thing they've done is worked in Prince George's County government, and I ain't hating on nobody. But the real world does not look like Prince George's County government, y'all. I'm here to tell you. Some of the stuff we do in Prince George's County government would never fly in the private sector,
No, no.
right? And so that's one of the culture clashes that we have. And maybe going in another CAG chat, we could talk about the culture of government and politics in Prince George's County, because this is cultural and it's spiritual too. I'm telling you, we woke up some demons out there on that campaign. Pastor Yolanda Peoples was out there praying every morning at the Sports and Learning Complex because folk was out of order, man. They was just out of order. So it's never been this bad. And I don't think it
Mm,
should get worse. It can be better. And so,
yes, it can.
I'm shout out to Greg. Thank you. He's not in the pocket right now. He's getting away with his wife. And so I all the respect to him, all the naysayers that said he shouldn't be running or he can't win. You can't win if people don't vote for you.
Right.
Period. Everybody gets in a race with a 50-50 chance, right? People started really paying attention to him. But, it wasn't enough to make a difference, right? People don't want to put their money behind somebody because they
Well, you know
scared.
what? Let's not say it wasn't enough to make a difference. People just did not do what they were supposed to.
Right. Okay, I'll take that back.
Yeah.
But yes, they did not do what they needed to do, which was show up and vote for him. And so the people who have money, y'all ballers, y'all got companies, y'all got contracts with the county, and y'all scared to support somebody against the established leadership.
Mhm.
Shame on you too.
And you
Shame
know what?
on you.
Y'all need to understand that's why your procurement office needs to be independent. Procurement should not be weaponized. And anytime you vote people in office who will weaponize those independent offices, those again, it's Trumpian. I'm just gonna it's Trumpian. And I know we got to get ready to go.
I'm sorry though, Tanya. They've been doing that since before Trump, so I
Well,
don't know what to
no,
call it.
no, no. I call it Trumpian because they're always complaining about Trump and
Right.
always asking, why aren't y'all saying things about Trump? Well, let's
Okay.
let's take care of our Trumpian behavior right here
Right.
first.
We don't have to talk about Trump if that's the case, because we got y'all in here. Y'all out
Exactly.
here in these streets.
No need to. We
Curry
gotta.
building, jacked up. People scared. People
Mm-hmm.
being threatened. People just horrific. I ain't
Uh,
heard it this bad in 20 years, y'all. I'm sorry. Yep, I'm gonna keep on saying it. 20 years ago,
mm-hmm.
this is what we were experiencing. And let's real quick before we go, I do
Mm-hmm.
want to shout out the candidates who ran for the Congressional District 5 seat. Um, my opinion, unfortunately, Adrian Boafo was the winner again. I don't know what y'all tone deaf people were hearing, but you missed the mark with him. I'm sorry. Um, Shout out to the folks who was leading up the rear, Harry Dunn, Quincy Berebi, um, even Walla, she showed up, agree or disagree. She did her part, and then Rashawn Baker. Um, Shout out to y'all for pushing forward and putting your best foot forward. To Nicole Williams, I hope that you will take this time and do some reflection of all the service you have given this county for, I know, for the past 20 years and decide on what's next for you. Um, Nobody's perfect, but I think when you put your best forward, people appreciate it. And so I celebrate you, Nicole. You my people, you my people, you my people. So that's all I
Okay.
got. Anybody else got something to say?
This is one time I don't have one more thing.
That's only because your kids in that backyard with you.
That's right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.